And this one today falls into the latter category, something you might not know about, and something I didn't know about until I was around the Dodgers a couple of times in the last several weeks. And when I was around them, their people, their front office people especially, were really excited about their double A rotation. Yes, their double A rotation. We've seen some of their younger pitchers. Bobby Miller on Sunday Night Baseball, brilliant. Michael Grove pitched Saturday. He was pretty good for the Dodgers. Gavin Stone, we've seen him. Ryan Pepio currently injured, but this is their next wave of starting pitching. Well, they have a wave behind that, and that wave has implications obviously for their future, both for their major league club and perhaps more intriguingly for the trade deadline. So I want to show you who these guys are and how they are performing. It's rather amazing what they're doing. These are the 6 starters that they've used. Nick Frasso, Emmett Sheehan, River Ryan, Landon Knack, Kyle Hurt, and Nick Nastrini. Look at those ERAs. Their rotation ERA in the Southern League is about a run and a half per 9 innings ahead of the next best rotation ERA. It's astonishing. And people might say, oh, well, the Dodgers, they spend all this money, they get all these players. Huh, it's not that big a deal, not that impressive. Well, actually, let's show you how they acquired each of these guys because it is impressive what they have done. This is not a situation where they're simply spending in the draft or spending internationally, not that you can do that anyway with the restrictions that are on there, or a situation where they're using these really high picks to get where they want to be. They don't get high picks, the Dodgers. They're winning every year, so they're drafting low. And look at this. The first 3 guys on this list, Landon Knack, Nastrini, and Sheehan, they're draft picks, but the highest pick was Landon Knack, a second rounder. The other 2 guys, not high picks at all. Then look at the bottom 3 names on that list, Kyle Hurt, River Ryan, Nick Frasso. Those players essentially came in minor trades. Hurt for Dylan Florio, River Ryan for Matt Beatty, Nick Frasso for Mitch White. Some of these deals were a little bit bigger, but you get the idea. So it's really impressive that the Dodgers have this next wave coming, and it's a tribute to their development, as well as their drafting in certain cases, that they've been able to make these guys into prospects. All, I believe, are in their top 30. So here we come with the deadline approaching. And you might say, okay, well, this gives the Dodgers some prospect power, and it does. And it also gives them depth for the future when they are building their own rotation. Hey, Urias is a free agent at the end of the year. Don't know if they'll re-sign him. Kershaw eventually will retire, hopefully later rather than sooner. But they're going to need pitching as we go along, like all teams need pitching. And what's interesting about the Dodgers also, when we talk about the deadline, they've traded prospects at the deadline before, traded pitching prospects. Now, they've made a number of deals at the deadline in recent years, some better than others, some have worked out, some have been just okay. But in those deals, they've traded a bunch of guys, and you can see some of the names here. And the guys I've highlighted, Montas, Kramer, and Josiah Gray, those are really the only players they've lost that have kind of haunted them. And I wouldn't even say they've haunted them. Montas went in a deal for Josh Reddick and Rich Hill. Actually, Grant Holmes was the principal attraction in that deal for Oakland. He never really worked out. The Yu Darvish trade, well, Willie Calhoun's doing okay for the Yankees now. A.J. Alexy was the pitcher in that deal. He never really did anything. Dean Kramer is doing well for the Orioles now. He's the one guy out of the Machado trade that has actually worked out. Josiah Gray, well, they gave him up for Max Scherzer and Trey Turner, along with Keibert Ruiz, who, of course, has become a really good catcher, signed long-term. And then last year, I only mentioned this one because Clayton Beeter is a pretty good prospect for the Yankees. So the point is, the Dodgers are not afraid to trade prospects at the deadline, and they've got this prospect power to kind of do what they want once the deadline hits. Now, we're going to talk a little bit later about starting pitching at the deadline and whether you can get it and the scarcity that I believe will exist. So that's going to limit the Dodgers if indeed a starting pitcher is what they want. And that probably is what they will want given the injuries that they've been dealing with. But at the same time, things will happen. Things will change over the next 7 or 8 weeks, and pitchers might become available that we did not expect. If that happens, and we probably can expect it to happen, the Dodgers will be well positioned. They've got it really going on development wise. It is impressive.